Hi everybody, thank you for watching. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I got this makeup look right here. This is my sweat-proof, heat-proof, full coverage foundation routine for the hot summer months. This is perfect for a night out or an event. Obviously, this is not an everyday type of look, but I wanted to show you guys how I keep my makeup looking like this even when it's really, really hot out. So I have a couple techniques that I'm going to share with you guys in this video that have really helped me out and I know will help you guys as well. So if you guys want to see my sweat-proof, heat-proof, super matte foundation routine, then please keep watching. So you want to make sure you're starting off with a clean face. I washed mine this morning and I put nothing else on it. Since the weather is getting crazy hot here in New Jersey, like it hit us with like 90 degrees out of nowhere, I had to pull out my tricks from like 2 years ago because last year with COVID, I don't really think I did much makeup when it came to the hot summer months. I wanted to show you guys my full foundation routine that is sweat proof, but it's going to be, you know, a little bit more than just like a natural everyday makeup look. This is for like a night out or if you have like a wedding or some sort of party. They are lifting the mask mandate as of Friday, which is so crazy, exciting, a little nerve-wracking of course, but this is my routine. So I have a couple tricks up my sleeve that I wanted to share with you guys. First and foremost is one of the most important steps when it comes to the summer months, really all year round, but especially during the summer with the sun out and in full force. So this is the Bondi Sands SPF 50 Face Moisturizer. This I'm going to be applying underneath everything. It works great, obviously as a sunscreen, but I'm also going to be using it as a primer today. And this product is so amazing for so many different reasons, which I'm going to fill you guys in. But when you are doing a super matte routine, you want to use something very moisturizing as the base. That way you don't look dry, you don't look cakey. So as most of you guys know, Bondi Sands is an Australian company. So when it comes to SPF product, I think they know best considering how high their UV rays are out in Australia. So I'm going to apply a decent amount onto my face and my neck. And what's great about this product is, well, there's a lot of things, but it gives you 72 hours of hydration. You want to apply this 15 to 20 minutes before you have any sun exposure. And when it comes to SPF, I use this every single day now that the sun is out. I have some really bad dark spots that got darker from pregnancy. So not only for that reason, but just to protect my skin, this is like a staple in my routine. This product is vitamin E. So you're going to be super, super moisturized, which again, as I mentioned, is super important when you're using a lot of powders and a lot of products to help keep your makeup on through the sweatiest, hottest of days. So I'm going to also be applying this down on my neck. And this product is great for sensitive skin. I've broken out from some other sunscreens and this one is good for my skin, which tends to be acne prone if it's too oily. And I do have very sensitive skin as well. So this product has been a game changer for me. Just wanted to also point out that most products with SPF will give you like a white cast under your makeup. This product will not, which is huge. So if you take a picture with the flash on, you're not going to have that like white, super white face, which is very important to point out. So this product can be found at Walgreens. It's super affordable. It's cruelty-free, paraben-free, and also reef-friendly. So again, you can find this product at any Walgreens. You can check out the description box below for a direct link. So it is very fast absorbing, but it does give you like a beautiful moisturized look to your skin. But since we want this look to be sweat-proof, grease-proof, oil-proof, all of that, the next step is super important and it's something that I do all the time when I am doing like a full foundation routine during the hot summer months. So you're going to want to take a setting powder. This is the Tarte Shape Tape setting powder, and before you apply your foundation, you're going to want to get a damp sponge and you're going to want to apply this powder wherever you get really oily. So for me, it's kind of all the spots that you can see like super highlighted right now. So like above my brows, right in my forehead, my five head, especially right here, my chin, on the sides of my mouth. So all those places you want to add the powder and like a decent amount before foundation. Right in between my brows, I also get super oily. And really make sure you're pushing that powder into your skin. So I'm gonna let that sit for a couple seconds just to like really absorb the oil. So the point of doing this underneath the foundation is it's gonna help absorb the oils before it even gets through to the foundation. So this step is definitely a necessity for those crazy hot days. Okay, so now that I let that sit for about a minute or two, I'm just gonna take a powder brush. This one is from my El Maquillage collaboration, and I'm very lightly gonna dust away the excess powder. You don't want to push too hard down on the skin because you want the powder that was absorbing to stay, so you just want to brush away like the excess. So you can see how that instantly mattified the skin. And again, because of the SPF and how moisturizing it is, you can apply all these powders and not feel like your skin's gonna get really dry and cakey, which is very important. So for foundation today, I'm using the Stellar foundation in S10. This is a super lightweight foundation, but it has decent coverage and I just love how it lasts. I started using this when I was in Mexico for New Year's Eve. I guess it was almost 2 years ago. Or it'll be this New Year's Eve coming up will be 3 years, which is nuts. 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. My friend Harush had told me about this and she was raving about it, so I was using it that whole time. And in Mexico, you know how hot it is there. And when I tell you it would last like all night long through all the partying, all the sweating. So this is like my go-to for the summer months because again, it is very lightweight and I just love how it lasts on my skin. So I'm gonna just put 2 pumps on my hand. I have like what's left of a tan, so my hands are like super white, but it's okay. So I'm gonna go in with the Beauty Blender and I'm gonna use the part that has the powder in it. And I'm gonna take a little bit and just start applying it onto my skin. And I like to use a Beauty Blender when applying foundation after I did that powder trick because I don't want to blend away any of that powder. I just wanna like push everything in to the skin. So I'm gonna take a little bit of S6, which is much lighter because I don't know what's going on, but you can see that is a better color. I'm looking like an Oompa Loompa. It's okay though, we'll fix it. It's so crazy, that's the color I always used. I need a tan, that's probably what's going on. But this is lighter, so it'll balance out. And plus once I do concealer, we're good. Don't worry guys. I'm sure you guys were watching it like, what the hell is she doing? What is she teaching us? And you really want to make sure you're pushing it around your nose, like in the creases. And also like I bring it onto my lip as well. And on my ears, obviously, especially because you're seeing my ears with my hair up like this. So that's like super important to remember. Okay. We balanced that color out. I just mixed both on the back of my hand so that way it matches. And I'm going to do my neck. So next up, I'm going to take the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray, and I'm going to use this a lot throughout the video. I like to drench my face in it. That way I'm doing like layers and layers. And then I have my handy dandy little fan here. Speeds it up a little to dry it. This is the best, like if you're hot doing your makeup, especially during the hot months. Like I have my air on, but it always is hot in this room because I have so many lights, I feel like. So I'm gonna use a lot of cream products for today's look. I'm gonna first go in with one of my favorites, the Midnight Marigold by Graftobian. And I'm going to cream contour. Really, it's like a bronzer slash contour. I like to use cream products because that way when I set everything with the setting powder, it's not adding more layers on top of the powder. Plus I feel like when you use the cream, you don't have to use as much of like a bronzing powder. So again, push this into your hairline. You can see how it just gives you like a beautiful, subtle tan, seamless tan, I should say. I'm gonna contour the cheeks. And again, a little bit of this product goes a long way. It's super, super pigmented. That's why I love this brand because their pigment level in their product is like unmatched and you only need like a tiny, tiny bit, which is key because we want to keep the skin looking flawless, but we want to keep it like each layer like very, very thin. And I'm going to take my Beauty Blender again and just push everything together, like blend it more so it's like less harsh. So you could see before. And then after. So like the shadow's still there, but it's much more seamless. It's not as harsh, which is another thing because you're going to be out in the sun. Like you don't want any crazy lines. You want everything to blend together really nicely and look natural as possible with, like, it's funny because sometimes when I do this routine, people are like, oh my God, your skin looks so great. And I'm like, well, there are layers and layers, but that's the key. If everything's blended nicely, it's like tricking people into thinking that it's your skin just with like a little foundation. They're like, oh, what foundation are you using? Well, I'm like, foundation matters, but it's like there's so many other steps that like if you just use the foundation, it's not going to give you the same result. So you can see. How nice. For concealer, I'm only going to be using a little bit, but I am going to be using the Bondi Lock-It Concealer. I'm going to be using it in Warm M17. And I'm just going to do like that much. I forgot to contour my nose. I'm going to do in between my brows, down the center of my nose, and my chin. And then I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute to get tacky. If you guys don't wanna sit and like you're kinda in a rush, again, having a fan handy is helpful. It speeds everything up a little bit. So if you're in a rush, which kind of always in a rush now, it helps. So I do this especially in the warmer months. You want it to get more tacky. It'll keep it looking more full coverage with less product, and it just lasts longer. It just doesn't like move around as much, so it's staying in the places that you want it to stay. Hi, Chichi Luna. So I am going to contour my nose, just same product, just a little bit. And I'm going to line that up really close to the highlight. And I'm bringing that up towards the brow. And I'm just going to push that in with my finger. So now again, Urban Decay All Nighter. Before I set, one more time. I'm just blending everything in. Make sure there's no creases. And then I'm gonna go right back in with the Tarte setting powder. Again, all the areas that you know you get extra oily in. And we're gonna leave the setting powder on longer than normal. Now obviously if you have really dry skin, you know what works best for you. I wouldn't maybe leave the powder on as long, but again, having a really moisturizing base is huge. So I'm gonna let that sit, and I'm gonna do a little eyeshadow. Actually no, I gotta do my brows. So I'm gonna do the brows with the Brow Wiz in Granite. What I always like to do is like brush the brows down. So you see where it's like lighter right there, and then I'll fill that in a little darker, just that way, you know, if you're sweating and your brow hairs move or anything, the product is everywhere it's supposed to be. And then I have by J-Cat Beauty, it's a waterproof brow gel. So this is in the dark brown, and I'm gonna use this with a brush. So I'm gonna take a little bit onto the brush, and I'm gonna just go over the brows. So this is gonna set and waterproof your brows, which you really can't ask for more in a product. Just for like industrial strength, I'm gonna take a little brush with more setting powder, and I'm just gonna very lightly dust over the brows. And it's gonna just make them look a little less intense, and set them into place, like that. So I'm gonna just quickly put a little shadow on the eyes. I wanted to use something just bright because I feel like every look I ever do is just super neutral, which is like my go-to, but I'm gonna use this bright fuchsia. But I personally just love like bronzy looks. It's just like my signature, I guess. It's just like what I do every single time, but so feel free to do any type of eye look that you want. It's really, this video is mostly based on the foundation routine. So I'm just applying that all over the lid. This is by Milani. It's the Gilded Terra. A blending brush with the color Bloom, which is like a pretty pink, and apply that in the crease. A little bit of the color Good to Grow. It's a little darker just for the outer crease. I'm going to use the NYX waterproof liner in black. This is the Epic Ink liner. So now I'm just going to brush away the powder, again with a very light hand. I'm going to take the one size Turn Up the Base powder in medium G, and I'm going to just set everywhere else because I forgot before. Oops. Make sure you do your neck too. Ugh. It wasn't recording. Alright, well I think I left off. I applied that same color underneath my eyes. I used No Filter and Good to Grow on my lower lash line. For mascara, I used the Flower Beauty one. I can't believe I just freaking didn't hit record. So if you guys want to use a waterproof mascara, definitely use that. I have eyelash extensions, so that's a no-go for me. So I applied it on my top and bottom lashes. And when I'm applying them on my bottom lashes, I always use a setting powder underneath and let them dry. Then I sprayed my face again with the Urban Decay setting spray. And I went in with my Moonstruck palette in light. So what I did first, I'm just gonna re-show you. I took my angled brush with this Shimmer Baked Bronzer, and I just did a very light layer on my skin to give it like a beautiful champagne highlight on both sides. I'm taking a smaller brush like this with the contour shade, and I just went right over the sides of my nose contour and just brought it up into my eyes. And then with a small brush, I used the Shimmer Champagne Highlight from my light palette, and I highlighted my nose and my tear ducts, my brow, and my lip. And then I started applying the blush and realized I didn't hit record. So I'm using the powder brush with this hot pink blush. And I like a lot of blush, especially in the summer. And again, these formulas are super lightweight on the skin and they're very moisturizing, so you don't need a lot and it's not gonna dry out your face from having like all that powder. I wanna spray my hair because now that my face is done, I can make it more sleek. So I'm gonna spray my spoolie. The baby hairs down. And then for lips, I'm gonna take my Luna waterproof lip liner that is now back in stock on Il Makiage. And these don't budge. They last like for hours and hours and hours without having to reapply. And I always like to blend. And I'm actually gonna use Taurus, which is more of the pink shade, with the Luna. So I know I showed you guys like Luna Libra and AI Taurus, but you can also mix and match. I'll show you. Is that everything? I think that's everything. And then the final step, you guessed it, one more spray, and this time I'm gonna do a lot. Oh, sorry, Jai, I forgot to move on me. The only other thing I will say is, where is it? I had one over here. What you're gonna wanna bring is like a pressed translucent powder. Let me find one. By CoverGirl. It's the Instant Wrinkle Blurring Pressed Powder. So it's just like a translucent powder like this. So I'll bring this with me because when you are sweating, you can either use, they have like those oil pads that you want to blot, like the blotting powder, the blotting, bleh, can't talk. The blotting pads that you could bring with you. I don't have them anymore. I used to use them all the time. Or you can just bring this, and it comes with like a little sponge, and you can just like take a little bit and just like push wherever you're getting oily. Never want to drag the product, and you don't want to add more powder, like thicker foundation powder, any other powders, because you don't want it to get cakey. So just like using this powder and just pushing wherever you're getting oily is like key. So throughout the day, that's what I would bring with me. So this is the final result. This is my sweat-proof, heat-proof, super matte glam foundation routine. Obviously, this is not for an everyday type of look. This is perfect for an event, or if you guys are going out and you know the weather's gonna be hot. It's like 80 something degrees here today. Like I said, last week it was like 90 degrees, which kind of came out of nowhere, but I had to pull out some of my go-to products, and I wanted to share this routine with you guys because it's been super helpful for me, and I'm sure it will be helpful for you guys as well. So that is it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.